First thing, you're going to want to check your steer axle components. So check the bushings on everything, make sure they're good. Then with your leaf springs, you want to take a wire brush, scrape off all the debris, check for any cracks. Check your shock bushings, the shackles on your leaf springs, make sure they're good. Another little tip with shocks is if you take it on a test drive, come back and feel them, they should be warm. They shouldn't be hot or cold, but a little bit warm. Check all the bushings, make sure there's no wear, damage on them. Then your U-bolts, take a brass hammer, tap them, and they should ring if they're good. And I'm doing mine on not a vehicle on the road, it's just a cut frame with the engine and the front suspension. As you can see. Come around to the other side, do the same thing. This one's not lined up, I can see it clearly. Finger can rest right on that, so that's not good. That's the reason this ain't on the road no more. Your steering component. Those are good. Shocks look good too. No movement. I don't know if anybody can see this, but I'm at the back end of a tractor trailer looking at the suspension components, seeing if there's any cracks on here. This is the airbag. You don't see any cracks, so it should be good. A little bit of paint coming off, but that's alright. Mainly looking for cracks anywhere it could damage the rubber. You look underneath, look at the bolts, check the bolts on every one of them. Even on your shocks and the bushings, make sure you get the bushings on the shocks. And then you also have U-bolts back here. You want to do the same procedure as the front with a brass hammer, check them. Then you want to come all the way back, make sure there's no rust, make sure you scrape it off with a wire brush, make sure you get the corrosion off. And this comes from, it's on the back tire, it comes all the way up to the front, and then all the way back to the airbag. And you want to check that for rust or cracks. And this one looks good. And check your bolts. And Firestone air ride springs back here. You have 2 sets of U-bolts on each tire for each suspension.